south side is within. The mind regulates the hand that masters the pen. The pen is mightier than the sword, but the tongue is mightier still. The stargate to the mind's revealed. The vortex.
Can you tell us about your experience being a part of a group called Soul to Speak with artists Watuti 87? And how has this collaboration influenced your music style and approach to creating music?
So, before I go any further, big up Watuti 87.
Big him up.
So, our story is big up Ganesh Gaven. She used to have a show called Better Late on HFM. And through the fact I was a really good interviewer and I was a really good technically in the studio, she wanted me to produce a show. Big up Mike Calais, my Latin brother. He was on her show with Watuti 87. So I'm working in the background, I'm turning the knobs, making sure everybody's levels are right. Boom, boom, boom. So the interview's going excellent. And then she asked them to spit a few bars. So they start spitting the maddest freestyles. And Mike, so I believe is of Colombian Latin heritage. He's flipping between Latin and English. Watuti's doing what Watuti does. And I'm like, I'm not in the right space. But when I am, I'm hollering at both of these guys for work.
Yeah.
So fast forward a few years later, I am in the right space. I holler at Watuti. And he's like, yo, I haven't written in years, but I've just got the bug back. And you caught me at the right time. Send me what you've got. So I sent him what I had. Maybe like 3 weeks later, he sends back 7 songs.
7 songs,
and he goes, and I'm calling it Philosophy Podium. And I'm like, raw. Okay, like really full circle moment.
Yeah.
And so boom, we're working. Big up Young Face. Sent him the stems. Young Face was on HFM. That's how big a part HFM's played, like production-wise for me. He was on HFM. He had a show on Saturday. I think it was after mine or before mine. I can't remember. I knew he was dope. Like his ear, was crazy, and his knowledge. So I sent him, and he mastered it. And then a week later, because it was going to be Watuti 87 Philosophy Podium produced by DJ Maintain. And now we get on so well. Like I think it's because we're both from the same manor. You know what I mean? Walk the same path. You know what I mean? Like, he's gone to me, yo, bro, I don't want it to be with 287 produced by Maintain. I want us to be in a group. And coming from an artist I've followed and watched with RU1 fam and all that, to say that to me, I was like, raw, I was taken aback. I was like, okay, bro, let's do it. Right?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah. And in classic Watuti fashion, because he's so forward thinking. And I got a name for the group already, Soul to Speak. And I was like, I love that. Let's go forth and conquer. So yeah, that's how Watuti 87 and I linked.
Dopeness. All right, so recently you completed an album with artist Vague. What was the creative process like working on this project? And what can the listeners expect from this collaboration?
Right, so Vague is part of a collective called the Omniverses, which is Bad Effects. He used to be called Technical Development, but he now goes as Noel.is, Vague, and another brother called Merklin. Now, Omniverses were like underground kings, and their albums resonated with like boom bap fans and that. So through working with Bad Effects, and doing a project with him called Maintain the Effects, I always asked him, like, what's Vague up to? Like, I know that's his name, but like, is he gonna do anything? Like, and he goes, you know what? Let me holler at him. So Bad Effects just went to him, yo, Maintain's asking about you, and you heard Maintain the Effects, you know what he's on. So Vague was like, all right, let's do it now. Bad Effects has been like the quarterback on this project. Like, he's got the Ziploc studio, and every Sunday he made sure he went and got Vague, brought him to the studio, and they made at least 2 songs.
Okay.
So over the process of, say, like a year, we've got the album done.
Okay.
So it's mastered, the artwork is done, it's just need a video to shoot, and then you know how social media goes, you shoot the video, you put it as a sponsored post. Once that algorithm starts to die out, you start chopping up the video into reels, and that extends it for another month or so. So that's where we're at the present with it, and what you expect to hear from it is the dopest lyricism He's not a punching guy. He's a straight through. So you're gonna get the dopest lyricism, the dopest features, and that boom bap sound that I love. Them snares that are gonna chop you in your neck,
Nice.
and the sub that's gonna make your heart. I mean, change his rhythm. You know what I mean?
Man, warm up the chest.
Yeah, that's it. Why I'm a top, you know.
Okay, so also you've been working with artist Motown Priest from Detroit.
Yeah.
How did this collaboration come about? And what unique elements does Motown Priest bring to your music project?
Right. So this is a mad story. So there's a brother, Stephen White, out of Switzerland. South African brother, Joe Berg. He lives in Switzerland, and he's got a collective called the O Circle. He in Switzerland, no one talks hip hop unless he's involved.
Okay.
Like, he's the man.
Right.
Like, yeah, he's I call him Don Steve-O. But anyway, so he wanted to bring his crew onto my show for an interview. Like Shady, I believe it was, couldn't interview him. So she said the next best guy is Maintain's Lost Sound show. So on Saturday. So they were supposed to come into the studio, right? But they went to the studio, the company house address, which is in Canary Wharf. Right, the studio's in Camden.
Yeah.
So they've bailed me up and gone, oh, we've gone to the wrong address. And the way I spoke to him and the way I dealt with it, he liked so much. He went, you know what, bro, the way you've handled this, the way you've been cool with us with the promo and that, I messaged you, like, we're gonna do something. So a month later, this is how connected he is. A month later, he put on a night called A Night in London in Switzerland and flew me out for it. Picked me up from the airport, brought me to the venue, sound checked. Boom, you hungry? Yeah, plate of food, DJ'd. As I finished my set, as this brother's just staring at me like this. So I'm thinking, why is this brother staring at me? So I'll go to him, are you okay? You alright? Goes, Maintain, right? Yeah. I'm your driver, I'm just waiting for you. And then he brought me to the studio, met artists, all of that. Fast forward, he's working with Motown Priest. They've done a film together, he's won awards. Motown Priest has performed in Switzerland, all of that. Stephen kept saying, I want you two to work together, I want you two to work together, I want you two to work together. Then sent him a pack of beats, because the one thing about me and my beats, what they sound like today is not what they're going to sound like a year on.
Right.
You know, I'll still have the same feel, they'll still slap, but I would have added another element. I'm like, it's going to sound like just even more solid. So by the time he's got to me, I sent him the pack, and he's just started writing. And what he's challenged me, because he's a concept artist.
Right.
He thinks like movie scores. So this song's got to lead into that song, and this interlude's got to lead into that. It's all got to make sense. It's not like, all right, we've got 20 songs. Let's pick the best 10 that will run, like, you know what I mean, in a nice running order.
Yeah.
He's already got the idea. And, you know, and he's taught me to put my ego to one side. Like, he's come back, yo, can you see how you've got the chorus and verse, can you switch them? Make the chorus the verse and the verse, and I'm like, every part of me is like, wants to say no.
Yeah.
But with him, I was like, no, let me try it. And then I've tried it, it's opened my mind up. And then I've heard another part of the sample, like, yo, that can be the outro. And then I'd start, and he's made me more open to collaborating with artists and not being so staunch about my beats. Like, no, I'm not changing it. Like, it's got the verse, got the chorus, got the outro. You work within those parameters.
Yeah.
He's made me like better,
Right.
and isn't that what it's all about?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like you said, it is ego, because in my mind straight away when you say that, as a producer myself, I'm like, yo, you hear me? Take the beat now.
That's the verse, that's the chorus.
No,
why you want to switch them?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I was like, you know what? Let me try it.
No, that's it, and that comes down to just being flexible and being a true person of the craft, if you see what I'm saying, because it's about being adaptable. Do you know what I mean?
No, for real. 100.
Definitely, that sounds dope. Can't wait to hear some of that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I can't wait to hear it, bro.
So being part of that group we got called Aesthetic, known for its neo soul, R&B and jazz sort of sounds.
Yeah.
How do you navigate blending these genres to create a cohesive and distinct musical identity for the group?
Right. So Aesthetic now. This was pure organic. This is organicness, if that's even the word, at its core. So the year before I moved to Uganda, I go to see, I go to a night showcasing an artist called Niara. So I go there, I see this little, well, she's not little, but I see this very shy person walk up on the stage with her guitar, sit on a stool, and then blow us all away. Like, she speaks through her talent. And I was, same like when I was helping Ganesh on her show and I looked up with Tusi and Mike Calais, like, I want to work with you. It was the same with her. So, yeah, fast forward a year later, I moved to Uganda. There's a brother out there called Timo who runs a studio called East Africa Records.
Right.
So I'm working with him and he goes, yo, give me that beat. I think Niara's song Control will sound dope on that.
Yeah.
Like, as a remix. So, boom. He lines up all the stems. Sounds amazing. So she's like, yo, I didn't know Maintain was on this. She goes, yo, what else you got? So I send her stuff that I think a singer would like.
Right.
She doesn't like any of it.
Right.
Lockdown happens, and then we get it's full lockdown. Then we have the curfew thing, right? She goes, let me come check you. We sit down, go through your whole beat pack, and I choose.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, cool. Now her story's crazy. She was born in North Carolina. She moved to New Zealand with her parents. Then from New Zealand, she moves to Uganda, does all her high school there, gets herself into a prestigious theatre school in New York, and now lives in between New York and Kampala.
Right.
So that's her story in a very short, small nutshell. So I'm like, okay, bless. So boom, she arrives at the crib. Now I live like, it was like an apartment block. Ground, and I was on the top. So as she's walking up the steps, she starts laughing. So I'm thinking, oh, what, you don't like the decor? Like, you don't like the why are you laughing at my crib? Yeah. And she goes, no, you see that house over there on the hill? And I'm like, yeah. We always wonder, because it's a massive house. And I've always wondered what the house is. She goes, that's where I grew up when I lived in Uganda.
Oh wow.
And I was like the things about the artists I work with, there's some sort of thing that links us. It's crazy. So she comes in, boom, I hook up the speaker, playing my beats. Everything she chooses 12, and they're all hip hop beats. And I'm like, it just blew my mind. Like, sort of like how Mo Priest changed the way I worked about collaboration. She changed how I thought about when I send beats to people.
Yeah.
Now I just send them everything. I'm not tailoring like, oh, no, what? You made that beat, you made that song for me, Syke. So I'm gonna, you know what? Let me pick that one, and yeah, it's gonna like, no.
Yeah, let me fling all of these.
Let me fling everything.
Them ones there.
Yeah. I mean, so that's what she taught me, and then so she went away with the 12, came back like a month later. 7 songs, and the album is amazing, bro. Like, everyone I play it to, they're left like this. Like, what? Like, she went in, and then we had it marked. It's a pure and what I love about it, it was made in Uganda. It was mastered in Uganda by 2 people that live or lived in Uganda. It was a pure motherland experience.
Do you know what? Yeah. Just, I wanted to ask you. I was going to save it till later, but no. What is it like in Uganda concerning when we're dealing with, you know, the musical aspect, especially hip hop?
So, this is what surprised me about Uganda. They take hip hop so seriously. Like, if you're into boom bap hip hop, you're doing graffiti, you're breaking, you're scratching.
So they're properly into the elements.
They're into the elements.
Okay.
That's what took me back.
Right.
Like there's all other, I mean, there's other people like the trap and drill, but if you're into hip hop, you're into it. Like one of the first gigs I did there was for, it was a graffiti festival called Afri-Art. Africans, sorry.
Okay.
I can play on the word African, spray can.
Right.
So, boom. I went there to DJ, big up DJ Issa. I didn't have a controller on me. I thought they just had the equipment there, and they didn't. So Issa let me use his controller, and then I DJ for about 2 hours. And I looked at him, and said, "Yo, you want to jump on?" And he was like, "Nah, bro, this is you.
Do your thing."
Yeah, do your thing." And that's a lot for a DJ to do that. So these guys came up and was rapping in, which is one of the most used languages, is Luganda. Bro, they rapped till it got dark. Like, and then I went and I was all boom bap beats, and then I played, what did I play? I played a Kendrick Lamar instrumental that's a little bit more trappy, you know, like he has that element, right?
Yeah.
They looked at me and went, "Nah, go back to what you was."
They don't want to hear
They
that.
didn't want it.
Yeah.
And I was like, till it was dark, and then my bro tapped me like, "Yo, it's pitch black, bro. Look, like, we got to roll." You know what I mean? Like the people are waiting for us at the after party, and that the hip hop scene in Uganda, that is it. So big up Africans, big up Breakdance Project Uganda, where Amy True, DJ Snuff, Logic all came out to, and Apex Zero as well.
Yes.
So we were all out. Imagine all of us in Kampala at Breakdance Festival,
That's dope.
and me and Snuff going back and forth on the decks. Like they when it comes to their boom, they are serious. All the elements have to be involved, and that's what I love. I really do love it.
Yeah, man. Shout out Uganda.
Yeah, every time. Big up UG.
All right, so can you share some insights into your songwriting process within the group Aesthetic, and how you collectively approach creating lyrics and melodies that resonate with your audience?
Right. So I'd say writing lyrics is not actually no, it is a strong point, because I'm like, when I was in secondary school, I was a problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like freestyle wise, like if you're coming into my circle, so that definitely helps. But I like to lean on the strength of the artist a lot.
Right.
When it comes to things like that. And Niara is just so talented, and she's got like a natural talent for it, which has been honed at the university she went to in New York. So I just lean on her. And then what she comes up with, I say, "No, it would sound good if we got you to feature on it." Or I'd say, "There, let's do that. Oh, I could add a scratch there."
Yeah.
And then so I like it to be a blank canvas.
Right.
For the artist. And then when the picture's done, I may add a border, or I may add a little there. But it's, for me, I like to be artist led, and that's how the Aesthetic album came to fruition. So yeah, it's mastered, it's ready to go, but because we're on different continents, it's been so hard to get together to shoot this video, which will then be the beginning of the promotional process. But I believe she's got into DJing now. I'm not saying it's my influence, but she's got into DJing now, she's doing well. So I think she's here in Bristol for a gig, but she's going to be in London. So when she's in London, I've got to grab her, shoot this video, and then she'll be here in Aesthetic towards the end of the year. Yeah.
So dealing with the aspects of the sound, I remember was talking off camera about it's got a neo soul sound, R&B and jazz sort of genres sound.
Yeah.
How do you see those scenes evolving, or what we just mentioned, and what role would you say Aesthetic aims to play in shaping the future of this musical landscape?
So you see Aesthetic, yeah? Like those genres you just mentioned, they're always next to each other, innit? They're always walking the same path.
That's right.
If you like hip hop, you're probably gonna like jazz. You're more than likely gonna like neo soul. Alright? And it was just a natural, I suppose it was just natural for me and Yara to make music like that. And what it's gonna do moving forward, I believe, is going to not make artists, I suppose, pigeonhole themselves. You know, like, you as a singer can sing over hip-hop beats, and you as a rapper, as a feature on the aesthetic track, can rap over neo soul.
Right.
You can rap over soul. You know what I mean? Which is basically what we're doing anyway. We just, as producers, we chop it and do what we have to do to it to give it the sound we want.
That's right.
But I just believe we're going to bring back that real richness of sound, and you know, the conscious element of it, the fun element of it. You know, we're gonna really bring that back, and we're gonna make rappers and singers work together more.
Yeah.
I believe that's what the aesthetic album's gonna do, because you know what I mean, you've got that all throughout music, and now it's kind of like, in my opinion, it's a little bit separate. Like, a rapper will put auto-tune in his voice and sing his hook.
Yeah.
You know a singer.
Yeah.
We all know a dope singer. Holler at them. Get them in. Let them do it.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what we're going to bring back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dopeness. In your opinion, what makes a successful collaboration between artists? And how do you ensure that each member's creative vision is honoured and integrated into the final product?
Do you know what? That's a dope question. Do you know... I would say be truthful to the artist you want to work with. Whether it's a simple sentence like, yo, I messaged you ish, I've been wanting to work with you for years. What you say?
Yeah.
Like, let it be from a place of, you know, love. Let it be from a place of inspiration, admiration.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll never holler at an artist because you got 2 million followers. I'm hollering at you because I love what you do.
Right.
And yeah, it's got to be that for me. Now, I know everybody has their ways of working and how they, you know, go about the end product and how they work with other artists, but for me, I've got to really like what your sound is, and whatever interview I've heard you in, if I've ever heard you in an interview, I like what you have to say, and then that will make me gravitate towards you. And then when I see you out, or if I DM you or whatever, or I holler at somebody that knows you, like, yo, Maintain wants to work with you. Now, look, he said, here's his number. I believe that's the best way. Yeah.
Dopeness. All right. Lastly, what message or emotions do you aim to convey through your music projects? With Soul to Speak, Vague, Motown Priest, and Aesthetic, how do you hope to impact your listeners through these collective musical endeavours?
I just want the love I clearly have for making music to come out of the projects, and I want you to gravitate towards that. And once you're in, just mess with it for a little while. You know, I've got a solo project coming out called Lost Sounds Presents Volume 1, because when I was in school, I left to college to study art and design, and even then I could feel the change in music, and I was 19 then, and I had to design a logo for a record label, and I called the record label Lost Sounds Records, because I believe the hip-hop I like is becoming a lost sound. That's why, and I've kept that. So I've got Lost Sounds Records, I've got Lost Sounds Productions, and I've got the Lost Sounds Show on HFM. So, yeah, I just want people to really feel that love I have for music and just gravitate towards it, you know? And that's what Lost Sounds Presents Volume 1 is going to show people. It's sort of like it's in the format of producer and artist. You're on it. Joker Star, Anyway to God, IB Reels, who's killing it on Pen Game, like Michael Parkinson's on it. So it's like it's like when High Tech did his joint.
Okay, yeah.
All his beats, loads of different artists on it.
Okay.
And I've made it cohesive.
Yes.
And interspersed within it, the album's called Lost Sounds Presents Volume 1 Origins. So interspersed within it, I've got intros of my family giving their take on the first time they realised I love music.
Okay.
So you get insight that this isn't just me now, this has always been me. So yeah. I just that's I just want people to really see that I'm a lover of music, and hopefully the love I put into the music grabs you and it becomes a part of your playlist forever, how long or how short it is. I mean, but even if it's 3 minutes, I appreciate it. You know?
Dopeness, man. Yeah, it's a lot of work, and I can't wait to hear them all. Actually,
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I'm like, oh, I just need to get them out now, but I've got to be disciplined. There's got to be a structure to it. I'm doing it independently, so I ain't got people who can manipulate algorithms for me. I've got to do it myself.
Right, that's right.
So I've got to get all these elements in place, and when they're in place, second half of this year, you're gonna hear everything, and then what I'm saying here, you're gonna be like, and yeah, that's it.
Brother, much love with all of these projects.
Thank you.
Again, thank you for being a part of the Verbal Vortex Show. It's been a pleasure, it's been an honour, brother.
Respect,
King.
Yeah, big up.
Outside is within. The mind regulates the hand that masters the pen. The pen is mightier than the sword, but the tongue is mightier still. The stargate to the mind's revealed. The vortex.